Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. This one we're going to double up, triple up, quadruple up. What's five? How do you say five? I don't know what five is. But we're going to have a bunch of figures in this review. Probably not going to be a standard review video because I just want to kind of highlight a couple of things. So I've been on a little bit of a Batman kick recently. So if you follow me on Instagram or here on YouTube, if you're subscribed, you may have seen a bunch of videos where I'm getting some Batman things and stuff like that. The Batman Hush Mafex figures I was kind of introduced to, which kind of, in my opinion, and what some of the comments that I've heard and what really kind of got my interest is that these are kind of like the definitive figures for the DC comic characters. Whether I mean, in terms of, not necessarily in terms of design, maybe. Probably not in terms of design, but in terms of the figure, maybe in design a little bit actually. What started it is the reissue of the Mafex what number is this? Number 117 Superman from Batman Hush. This kind of started it. At some point, randomly, the restock became available in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. So I ordered it, got it in my pile of loot. I've opened it up, I've checked it out, and yeah. This is an amazing Superman figure, 100%. So that got me thinking, man, I should get some other DC characters in figure form from Batman Hush, specifically the Mafex stuff, because there's some good things coming out there. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it's a good time to come in because there's some figures that are on pre-order that are coming that are going to be pretty cool. There's some figures that got released, though, and it's like, oh, man, I got Superman, but the comic title is Batman Hush. So could I get a Batman? Well, the dark gray and dark blue suit is getting reissued. So it's available to pre-order in Big Bad Toy Store. The pre-order actually recently sold out and it went back up fairly recently, so it has become available, so you can get a pre-order in. I'll have a link in the video description below if you're looking to get that. And it was originally had a July 2025 release. Well, that got bumped up to an April 2025 release, so a little bit sooner to get that dark gray and blue suit Batman Hush. But I was looking at Big Bad Toy Store. They had this Batman. This is the Stealth Jumper Batman. I think one that people didn't really care about. Didn't want to pick up. Didn't care for the design. None of that. Kind of weird, they want the standard Batman suit, right? Not, the gimmicky Stealth Jumper Batman. Because of that, this guy is on sale. 50% off at Big Bad Toy Store. It's like $52.50. I'm like, cool. Ordered it because at least I would have a Batman so I can at least do some kind of comparison as I review Joker and Scarecrow for you guys. So I was like, cool, I'll have a Batman. It's not the Batman that, people really want, but it's it's an interesting design. It could be a really cool figure and it's only $52.50. Like, that's a pretty good deal. So, if you might be jumping into Batman Hush new like me, this could be a Batman figure that you can get. I mean, you could pre-order the dark gray and the blue suit and have that secured and do that for Batman Hush. That's probably the way to go. And, I have that Superman, so I'm good. I just really need a Nightwing figure, which released, I don't know, probably a couple of months ago, but that thing is sold out. You can't really get it anywhere. The price has gone up a little bit. I'm hoping for a reissue at some point. I definitely want to get my hands on it. And then there is the gray and black Batman suit that did release by Mafex for Batman Hush, and I was just thinking I'm probably never going to get that. But lo and behold, randomly one day, there was a restock at Big Bad Toy Store, because I typically each day I'll check out Big Bad Toy Store to see what their new arrivals are, and I'll kind of I share links so you guys could see if something new becomes available, I share the links so you guys can pick them up and everything like that. So I was just looking around, checking on a restock for Nightwing to see if maybe randomly I would be able to lock one down, and secure one through. That way. Kind of like I did Tiger Stripe Wolverine, right? Every now and then a random one will become available. So I was thinking maybe that's going to happen with Nightwing. I never thought it was going to happen with this version of Batman from Batman Hush. And there was a bunch. I would say you can only see if there's like 24 of them at a time. There was 24 plus of this Batman. I shared the link. It sold out super quick. But I'm so glad that I got an order in for it, because now I can give you a proper comparison with Scarecrow and Joker here with an actual Batman figure. So I'm very excited about that. So really, this video is really to show you guys these two figures in particular. Scarecrow just came out. Riddler just came out. I will get Riddler probably in a few weeks. I want to slow down with the ordering, but I will get Riddler so I can do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly get all of the Batman Hush Mafex figures, because again, definitive designs, definitive figures for these DC characters. So Riddler, the Huntress, Harley Quinn, I got Joker. So there's a lot of figures. Robin is up available for pre-order. So there's a lot of Catwoman. I got to get all these figures because they just look so amazing. So this video is really to focus on these two figures, but I do want to talk about that Batman, both of those Batmans and the Superman. So it may not be a traditional like review type and everything. When it comes to like articulation, detail, all of this, it's just going to be kind of overview for the Mafex Batman Hush stuff. So a very different kind of video, along with a very different kind of video. And this one's going to be exciting, courtesy of Big Bad Toy Store. So guys, make sure to go to Big Bad Toy Store for all your action figure needs. Whether it's this import stuff, you want to go for McFarlane Toys, DC stuff, whatever your action figure needs are, head over to bigbadtoystore.com. I'll have links in the video description below to these figures. But check out Big Bad Toy Store if you haven't already. Right, it's a great option. You get $4 flat shipping on as much stuff. You get to do a pile of loot feature and then just get everything in your pile of loot and ship it all at once. Pay the same $4, however you want to do it. Or for international folks, Big Bad Toy Store ships internationally. But courtesy of Big Bad Toy Store, I have another Mafex Scarecrow to do a giveaway. So, in honor of kind of the partnership and collaboration that I've had with Big Bad Toy Store, which is now over a year, like 12 months, last February to this February, they've given me a couple of items to give away. Number one is going to be this Batman Hush Mafex Scarecrow. So just comment down in this video. So any comment will get you entered in, as long as it's not like... as long as it's not like kind of any kind of foul language or anything like that. So comment down below, whether it's a question, whether it's a comment about the figures, or if you just want to say, oh, I want to enter into the giveaway. Any comment, I'm going to do a random comment generator picker, and that will be the winner, and I will get this shipped out to you guys there. So if you guys are interested in the Batman Hush Mafex figures and want to get started, we have the Scarecrow, so that could be a chance for the giveaway. So again, any comments, I will do a random comment generator picker, whatever, to choose as the winner. I will reach out to them, and then they just got to reach out to me with their information, and I will get this sent out to them. So again, courtesy of Big Bad Toy Store, make sure to check them out. Links in the video description below. So here we go with the video. I'm going to get all these figures out of the package. Again, we're going to primarily focus on these two, but I got two Batmans and a Superman to kind of go over as well and talk about, because I'm just really excited to really have these high articulated DC Comics characters in figure form. You know, I have a few DC Multiverse. I don't have a lot. I have some other Mafex for the Snyder cut of Justice League. I do really like those. But comic-wise, I didn't have a lot, so this is kind of the way to get in there. So I'm very excited for this chance to talk about Batman Hush Mafex figures. So if you stuck with me this long, and I know I've rambled on and talked a lot, stick with me. Let's check out these figures. Okay, I think in the interest of time, this is how I'm going to do it to kind of get all the accessories and things out of the way. Here with Scarecrow, we get a couple of different head sculpts. So we got one mask, we have one screaming masked look, and then we got one unmasked, and he's got 3 extra sets of hands. So wide open hands, relaxed hands, and kind of clawed hands. And then he also has another set of relaxed hands. I guess these aren't quite relaxed, a little bit more open there, but that's what we got with Scarecrow. Okay, so Joker comes with a few more sets of hands. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra sets of hands. We do get one additional head sculpt, and he comes with one single weapon. We do have a knife in there. I forgot to mention, all Mafex figures do come with a flight stand there in the back of the tray. Okay, so for the Stealth Jumper Batman, again, he's 50% off on sale, $52.50. We got the figure, it's got the soft goods cape. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra sets of hands, and then he's got 2 different batarangs there. One of these hands looks like he's holding on to batarangs or something in there, but that is the Stealth Jumper Batman. Okay, for Superman, if you guys don't know, there's 3 different Vine accessories. We get an additional head sculpt where his eyes are red. There's a hand for Batman that's got a kryptonite ring in there. Superman himself comes with 4 additional sets of hands, and then we have, of course, the Superman figure there. Okay, so the black suit version of Batman, we get the Batman figure, one additional head sculpt in there, a couple of different batarangs. It looks like we've got this grapple gun hooks. It looks like we got a couple of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra sets of hands, and then one extra set of hands where it looks like it's the grapple gun shooting hands. It's all kind of one piece down in there, which is pretty cool. And then he also comes with a different style base. This is like a gargoyle base, like rooftop, so he can kind of be perched up on a rooftop there. So that is pretty cool there. So we will be able to take a look at Batman along with our two from his Rogues Gallery, Joker and Scarecrow. I haven't even taken this little plastic off of Joker yet, but we will get into that. So let's go ahead and get right to it. All right. So we've got Batman, we've got Superman, we've got Scarecrow, we've got Joker out of the packages, and we've got another Batman, the stealth jumper Batman. I don't. That's kind of the one. Like I think it's weird that Mafex would have done that version of Batman. I guess the other two Batmans did so well. They're like, hey, is there any other Batman from that story we could do that people would be interested in? Yeah, let's try the stealth jumper Batman. And I guess maybe people just didn't want it as much because you want the other Batman figures. But it's good that they're reissuing the blue version. And then this black version, I don't know if it was a random restock or if it was an unannounced reissue or what was going on, but Big Bad Toy Store had a fair amount of them and they sold out quick. So again, I'm glad I got mine in. The Superman was a reissue. I got that. The Superman is awesome. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be able to get these DC Comics characters, like kind of the definitive versions of them, design-wise, and then in a super articulated action figure that just works really well, poses really well, and has a really good aesthetic. And that's what Mafex does with the Batman Hush line. I had listed off a bunch of the characters. I forgot to mention there's a Poison Ivy figure. Like all these really good characters, from Batman's Rogues Gallery, all from a certain one single storyline into the Mafex releases. So as long as Mafex will keep doing them, I'm going to be picking them up. So I'll be picking them up, slowly but surely, but I'll be getting them because these are just so well done. I've become a huge fan of Mafex. They're doing some really, really good things in the action figures, whether it's Marvel, the MCU stuff, or here with my first foray into DC Comics figures, because I have a couple of movie figures. They're just so well done. So well done. And Scarecrow and Joker are no exception to it. The Superman is absolutely amazing. The Batman is really cool, but he's got a massive cape. Like, it's ridiculous how big his cape is. And then you got the stealth jumper Batman, which is, kind of there. Take it or leave it. But $52.50, like, that's such a good price. And it's like, okay, I'll get it. And this way, I'll be able to have all of the Batman Hush figures. I just need to somehow figure out a way to get a Nightwing figure. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a restock, or maybe I'll pick one up on eBay or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to need to get it. So let's go ahead and get in for a closer look of Scarecrow and Joker. We'll look at the different interchangeable heads, and then we'll take quick looks at the other Batman figures and Superman. Okay, so Scarecrow. Scarecrow is really, really well done. I love the look of it. This, the stitched up suit look to it. Nice paint in terms of like the kind of the weathering, like on his gloves, the weathering on his feet down here, and kind of along the stitching, you get some weathering and stuff. The figure just looks really, really good, and we get a couple of interchangeable head sculpts. Just really, really well done. I love the way they kind of did that there, and I like that. Inside his mask, if you look at through the mouth, you can actually see his actual face like in there. So that is a really nice touch. We get a couple of interchangeable heads that come along with this guy. So let's go ahead and pop that off. That comes off extremely easy, by the way, and I feel like maybe a little too easy, but that does come off. You have this collar piece, which is just kind of a floating piece, so you kind of have to just kind of get it in there in a certain way. But this one is a screaming one, and he actually comes with the neck also. So you typically, the necks would not also be included. I'm not sure why they felt the need to include the neck on these as well. Maybe it's just because it becomes easier to swap out the heads. Either way, we got the neck that comes along with it, so that's cool. You can put that collar piece over the neck already, and then we could pop this head on there. It doesn't really make a popped on sound, so it could be one where they just come off a little easily. Obviously, it's not going to just fall off. It's not loose or anything like that, but it's just very easy to swap around, which isn't always a bad thing, because sometimes some head sculpts can be so difficult to take on and off that sometimes they break the heads, and I'm not a fan of that. But there, look at that Screaming head sculpt. It is actually open in there, so it's just really cool that you can actually see his face under the mask. I just love that detail in there. It just looks so nice. So that is an awesome head sculpt there. But wait, that's not it. There is more. We get one extra head sculpt, and that's going to be the completely unmasked head for, what's his name? Something Crane. I can't think of his name right now. It's not Thomas Crane, no. Victor Crane, something Crane. I can't think of his name right now. But there is Scarecrow there without a mask, and is obviously not as menacing looking because it's just, you know, a regular guy there. But that's so cool that we get these different head sculpts in there, so that looks really good. I will not be leaving this one on there, because when I think of Scarecrow, this is what I think of. One of these, not this guy here. But yeah, just overall, figure just looks so good. So let's go ahead and check out the Joker. Okay, and here we have the Joker. So we looked at Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow. I did look up the name because that was driving me crazy that I couldn't remember. But here we have Joker, and Joker looks crazy. I mean, look at that face. Look at that long-ass nose. Look at that super narrow face and everything. That ugly-ass smile with the big old yellow teeth. That looks so good. It's just, it's so good. This is what I think of when I think of the Joker. It's not like Heath Ledger Joker. It's not whatever it was in the Batman. This is the Joker that I picture in my head. Similar to like the Batman the Animated Series. It's probably my definitive, because that's what, you know, what I was used to kind of growing up. But in terms of comics, like if I think comic Joker, this is exactly what I would think of here. He's very skinny, as you can see there. Very, very thin. He's got like this purple suit with some green in it. His hair's green. Crazy, insane smile. Just really good. The paint on his face just came out really nice. There's some like red shading kind of in the wrinkles of his face and everything. Just looks so good. He's got the crazy ass green hair. There's a little bit of a wash in there to bring out the details. In terms of the suit, it's purple suit, but like at all the folds and stuff, you could tell there's a little bit of shading. It's super subtle, but it's in there on some of those different parts, like around the knee, around the ankles, and everything like that, and just kind of on the shoulders and at the elbow. Just came out looking really, really nice. He's very thin, but he can stand pretty easily. That was one thing that I'd be concerned about with like these thin figures. Same with Scarecrow. He's very thin too, but they're very stable, so you don't have anything to worry about there. And then they're super highly articulated, which is pretty crazy. So I really like that. But Joker does come with an additional head sculpt, so it wouldn't be Joker if he didn't laugh. So he could smile, sure, but what about laugh? So let's go ahead and pop one of those heads off, and let's put on the other head sculpt that we got there. And here we have the Joker laughing. Extremely menacing laugh. Just looks really, really good. And you can see around his eyes, it looks a little bit darker. So they've got some crazy shading around his eyes in there too. But man, just so good. So well done. Let's go ahead and quickly go over the articulation of these two guys. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the articulation of both Scarecrow and Joker. So again, the head comes off a little too easy, so getting Scarecrow to kind of look up is a little bit tricky. Getting him to look down, it can only be so much as well. You get a full rotation in there, and you can get some good pivot going on in there. The shoulder, you can get the shoulders to go straight on out and upwards quite a bit. You can do a full rotation in there, and then there is not really a butterfly joint. You do get some wiggle room in there, as you just kind of have this floating shoulder piece in there, so it doesn't really go back a whole lot, and doesn't really come forward in terms of like wanting to do crossbody. So there's actually none that's going to go in there. That's a little unfortunate. You don't get an upper bicep swivel in there either, but you do get a double jointed elbow, gives you that much bend there. The wrists are on a ball joint hinge, so you could swivel and hinge any which way you need to. On there we got a diaphragm cut and a ball joint waist, so using both, you could tilt Scarecrow a little too far to the left there, probably a little too far to the right as well, as you could see there. So you can get him into some really cool, menacing, scary poses if you wanted to. Going back, you can lean back that much, and then coming forward with that ball joint waist and the diaphragm cut, you can crunch forward that much there, which is really good. You could swivel at that diaphragm, you could swivel at the waist as well. Drop down hips, you could drop the leg down that much there. You could do the splits that much. The legs go that far apart. support there. You can kick forward very, very, very high, as you can see there. The leg goes back very far as well. You get some thigh turn in there, but he has probably one of the least that I've seen in a Mafex figure. So very little turn at that thigh. You get a double jointed knee, gives you that much bend there at the knee. You do have an ankle swivel in there. You can hinge down only a little bit. You can hinge up quite a bit. It's the hinge down that's not a whole lot. You do have toe articulation in there as well. So even if he has slightly less articulation, he is still really well articulated in terms of Scarecrow. I mean, I don't know how Scarecrow really poses around, but you can do all kinds of good stuff with him. Moving on into the Joker, and Joker, again, very thin suited figure, but he's got a lot of really good articulation in there, and I just lost a hand. I'll have to get that hand back on because that went straight down to the floor in there. But let's go ahead and check out Joker's articulation after I get the hand back in there. You can't actually get him to look up a whole lot, so that's kind of tricky, but you can get him to lean back, so if he wanted to look up, he could do that. He can't look down a whole lot because that chin comes way forward, so that chin just hits his, you know, the bow tie that he's got in there, so he can't really look down, but you get a full rotation, you get some crazy pivot and things going on in there with Joker. The arm you can get to go straight on out. You get a full rotation in there if you would like. You do have this joint that kind of gets the arm to come down a little bit and go up. And you can butterfly towards the front, but the rubber coat is what's going to block him from being able to do the cross body in there. And then you can go back a little bit on there. No upper bicep swivel on him either. We do get a double jointed elbow. Surprisingly though, the elbow does not give you as much range of motion that we typically see with Mafex figures. So it gets you just about 90 degrees, maybe just a smidge over it. The wrists are swivel and hinge, ball joint, so you can swivel and hinge any which way you need to on there. A couple of different points of articulation in here. He's got a very thin waist and he's got the upper diaphragm cut in there. He's got the jacket, which doesn't really get in the way, but you do kind of have to kind of work it around a little bit. So on the diaphragm, you do get a swivel, and then you could swivel at the waist as well. You could tilt quite a bit here, and it feels like I'm doing it basically. There we go. So with the diaphragm and the waist, you could tilt to his left that much there. You could tilt to his right that much there, which is good. Going back is a crazy amount, but you could get some gap at the waist, so just be aware of that. And then coming forward, you can crunch forward that far. Let me see if we push it a little bit. That far there, so that is really good as well. The hip piece is a little rubbery, so just so you know, so it can kind of work around and stuff like that. You could hear the rubber of it move around, and that actually works out. There's no, it's not going to break or anything like that, which is good. You do get a drop down hip, so you could drop the hip down that much there. You can get the legs to go that far apart. That is really good there. And then you can kick forward really, really, really high, as you can see there. The leg goes back quite a ways as well. And then, so even less on the thigh turn here. So basically, like extremely, extremely little, even less than Scarecrow in there on that turn. You get a. I can't tell if this is a single jointed knee. I would say it's probably a single jointed knee because you're gonna get that much bend there, and it looks like. No, I mean, I guess technically it would be a double jointed knee. So you get that much bend there at the knee. The pants kind of go over the ankle. You could swivel it around and you can hinge the foot up just a tad. Can't really go down, and you have toe articulation in there. But I didn't have any problems with him feeling like unstable or getting him to be able to stand on those feet or anything like that. So there's no real concern there. I guess when posing it out, that might be a little bit tricky since, you know, the ankles don't swivel as much, but like you could still get him into certain poses even with the lack of the thigh swivel in there, because it's extremely limited. No bicep swivel, but it still works really well. It's just the tricky thing is, I guess, with the elbows, they don't bend in as much, but you could still get him into some really good poses for Joker, like so. Even I think that's an okay one. I think I did all right with it. So there we go. So that's the articulation of both Joker and Scarecrow. Both very skinny guys, and both can pose around really, really well. So now let's go ahead and see Scarecrow, Joker, Superman, Batman. Let's see them all together. I should probably point out you could swivel at the lower leg on both Joker and Scarecrow. So swivels on the lower legs. Okay, so I'm trying to get Batman in there, but look at how big his damn cape is. Like, that's insane. I think it might be a little too big. I mean, but I guess it's better to have more cape than not. I don't know, but it's just massive, and I just feel like when you want to have the cape down, it kind of gets in the way of the figure wanting to stand, because it's got the bendy wire in there. It's not throughout the entirety of the cape. It's only in a couple of spots. So here at the ends, and then there's a couple of spots in the middle of the cape that has bendy wire as well. So you just kind of have to maneuver those bendy wires to kind of in certain places so it doesn't interfere with wanting to get Batman to kind of stand up on his own, because it can be difficult because it just kind of pushes him in ways that you don't want him to stand or whatever. So it's just a little tricky. There's just too much cape going on there. Okay, so here we have Scarecrow and Joker along with Batman, and you can see, like, size-wise, I think this works out really well. Joker is pretty tall, not quite as tall as Batman, but Scarecrow is only taller than Batman because of the hat, so it kind of makes sense there. So I really like it. This Batman figure is really cool too. I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about Batman, because this is my first comic, Mafex Batman, and I'm, well, first... Not technically first. Well, first that I've like opened up and started kind of playing with and whatnot, aside from that stealth jumper version. I really like this Batman. One thing that I thought was interesting, and I never thought that Mafex would actually do something like this, but it looks like they did. I'm fairly certain that the upper legs on Batman and Superman are the same. I don't know for sure, but I'm fairly certain that they are the same. Does it matter? It does not, because it works, right? So, you know, what difference does it make? But I thought it was interesting because I didn't think that was something that Mafex would typically do. Even like, you know, I think with Spider-Man figures they would, but, you know, that's only like if it's a repaint of the same Spider suit kind of thing that, you know, they would reuse it. But we have two different characters here. But it works nonetheless. This Superman, by the way, is truly the definitive Superman. Like, if I never get another Superman figure again, I will die happy, because this Mafex one is just like everything that you want and need out of a Superman figure. It is just absolutely perfect. All the articulation you could want, and it just like the perfect looking Superman. It just looks so good. I'm so happy that I was able to get in on that restock. And again, that's kind of what's leading me down this path of get all these Batman Hush Mafex figures, because they're just so good. So now having this Batman makes me even more excited for the gray and blue suit version. I hope the cape isn't as big, but we'll see. But that version comes with like a Bruce Wayne head sculpt, so that'll be pretty cool there. So that is this particular Batman. So having Superman in there along with Scarecrow and Joker, and it looks like, I don't know if it's just Superman just has a really tiny head, or Joker just has a really big head, or how it was drawn in the comics. It could be very comic accurate to it. So, you know, because they're comic, not movie based or anything, proportion wise, doesn't always make sense, because, you know, bigger heads, tiny head. I don't think it's a problem for Superman. I still think the figure looks great. But just thought I'd point that out there. But there we go with Superman, Joker, and Scarecrow. But let's talk about the stealth jumper Batman. It's interesting. It's an interesting design. I like the size of the cape though. The cape is nice because it's not like massive, right? It's a good size. It doesn't drag on the ground, so it's not longer than the figure. And I think that's like the important thing there, is because it doesn't get in the way of standing Batman up or anything like that. So that is cool there. So this would have been initially kind of the Batman that I was going to review along with Scarecrow and Joker, but I'm glad I got that other one, the black suit version there. But this is still an interesting Batman. He's got all kinds of crazy details in the suit, because, you know, along with the stealth, I don't know what these things are. He's got to be able to breathe. You know, he's got these straps and harnesses and things like that in there. He's got this thing on his backpack. Not sure what that is. So it's a pretty cool, pretty interesting design. Again, this is one that I think a lot of people just passed on, but, you know, at 50% off, that's a pretty good deal. So that's why I jumped on it. But again, I think I'm going to get all of the Batman Hush Mafex figures at this point. But yeah, they all look really, really well together. Okay, so here are the Batman Hush Mafex figures that I now have in my collection. Again, I will be kind of going through slowly but surely to get all of them. I think the next one I'm going to pick up is Riddler, since he is newer. There's a couple that are on sale that I'm going to eventually get. I think Huntress was one of them. Poison Ivy, I think, was on sale as well. But I am going to eventually get all those. I just need to somehow track down a Nightwing figure. But I'm very pleased with the way these figures came out. Hopefully you guys like them. You guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below, as I'm very late kind of jumping onto the Batman Hush Mafex train. But luckily I'm able to get some of those ones, and I'm glad, you know, Batman himself in the blue suit is getting reissued. Hush is also getting reissued. That's not expected until July though. So I'm glad I'm able to kind of get in there. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of the Batman Hush storyline? What do you think of these Mafex figures? Do you have any of them? Have you picked them up? I've heard a lot of great feedback on the Superman, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts if you have this Batman, or even if you have this Batman, or if you had Joker, because Joker is a little bit older now, but Scarecrow is the brand new one. So give me your guys' thoughts if you've already gotten the Scarecrow. If you don't have the Scarecrow or haven't picked it up yet, don't forget, make sure leave a comment in this video to be entered to win this giveaway of this Scarecrow figure, courtesy of Big Bad Toy Store. So I have this extra one that they sent me specifically to do a giveaway. So I have this available for you guys. So if you guys are interested in the Scarecrow figure, if you want to pick one up and haven't gotten it yet, make sure to leave a comment in this video. I will do a random draw. I will pick a random comment and reach out to that person. I'll probably, like, you know, reply to their comment like, oh, hey, by the way, you've won. Make sure to message me like on Instagram or email me or something with your contact information, and I will get it shipped out to you. So we have that there. So make sure, again, leave a comment in this video, and I will do a random draw to pick a winner. So I will, let's say today is February 23rd. Let's go ahead and do a full week. So March 2nd, I will be flying out to Southern California for work. I'm going to set an alarm, a reminder on my phone, to choose the giveaway winner. So 1 week, make sure to leave a comment, any comment. It could be whether you like the figure, whether you don't like the figure, whether you like Batman Hush, you don't like Batman Hush, or even if it's just I want to win Scarecrow, or enter me into the giveaway. Whatever the case may be, just make sure that you leave a comment in this video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will want to make sure that we verify that. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And then comment, and then we can get this Scarecrow out to you if you were chosen as the winner. So there we go. So good luck to everyone on the Scarecrow figure. I think it's a fantastic figure. Very pleased with it. So you guys give me your thoughts on these figures down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.